What's up everyone? This right here is the UNS 30A. It's a 27 liter, 7.1 gallon all-in-one cube, and it's pretty sweet. And today we're going to be building a terracotta pot aquascape. I got the idea from an old MD Tanks video that I stumbled across on my suggested page, and I just thought it was super cool, and I wanted to do my own take on it. But instead of crypts, we're going to be using an Amazon sword plant. So let's get started. So this right here is Aquasoil. We have it in mesh bags, and this is going to be our nutrient layer. Alright, so the reason why we have Aquasoil mesh bags is because, well, for one, it helps keep the soil contained, and this just makes it easier. So, you know, when we start planting and sticking root feeders into the substrate, Aquasoil isn't flying out everywhere. And just an extra measure of growth assistance, we're going to add some flourished root tabs. Go ahead and put them in there before we put the sand cap on there, but yeah, doesn't hurt to have flourished root tabs in there. All right, now we need to put the sand in there, the sand cap. This is sand from a company called Supernatural Aquascapes. The sand looks really good, so let's go ahead and put it in. All right, so we have the sand in here. I really like the way this color sand looks with this white backdrop. It looks super clean, I love it. What's next is we need to put the hardscape in here, and obviously, since the main focal point of this hardscape is gonna be this terracotta pot, we're gonna start with this. So I'm not sure yet if I wanna keep it intact or if I wanna like break it and make it look like sort of like a temple ruin type of thing. Oops! All right, let's see here. Wonderful. Wow. Look at this broken terracotta pot someone just left out here. Maybe we'll make a nice aquarium with it. Before we can even think about putting these in the tank, I'm gonna sand down these rough edges because fish, regardless of how big or how small, will explore every inch of the tank. And if we're gonna have tight spaces where the fish can swim through cracks and whatnot with these sharp edges, they will tear their fins because fish like to explore. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through with some medium grit paper, sanding down the edges. As you can see, this part is very sharp, but look how much better and look how much more dull it looks once you've sanded it. So we're gonna put this first piece in. Yeah, there we have it. I think just like that. That's perfect. Obviously, you know me, we're gonna put some gravel on there just to kind of make the place, or make the terrain more rugged, if you will. You know how it goes. Just to top things off, I'm gonna just put this one last rock back here. Let me know in the comments what you think, and better yet, let me know what you would do differently. I'm always happy to have conversations in the comments as long as we keep it civil. Love talking about how each and every one of us would go about it differently. That's my favorite aspect of this hobby, so yeah. All right, so it is now the next day. Water has been going through the filter and everything. Things are looking really good. Things are clearing up. So yeah, for now we're rocking this $10 light from Aquaneat. It's working just fine. We're gonna upgrade to a nicer light maybe at some point that's more presentable, but Honestly, this doesn't look bad, and it's lighting up the tank pretty well. So with all that out of the way, let's get to planting, and let's get this tank up and running. All right, we're here at the shrimp generator tank. If you don't know why I call it the shrimp generator, I made a whole video about it. But yeah, we're keeping the Amazon stored in here for now, just kind of keeping it moisturized. But yeah, let's get it out of there. Woo, man, what a beautiful plant. All right. Without hesitation, we're just gonna go ahead and jam this plant in there. All right, this is already looking really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm super excited the way this is turning out so far. And as you can see here, see if it'll focus. It's growing new leaves back there. Um, those leaves were not there when I had bought in the plant. Those all grew while the plant was just sitting in this tank. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that this plant is going to do extremely well in here. Amazon swords grow like crazy. And it will definitely take over this entire tank for sure. So yeah, what's next is we're going to plant some dwarf hairgrass in the foreground. And yeah, let's waste no time. Before filling the tank back up with water, I decided to put some Aqua Clear Biomax biofiltration in this reservoir here. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's basically just this really porous material that allows beneficial bacteria to colonize. It just increases surface area. So yeah, it's always good to have. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just stick that in here. About 2 weeks later, brown algae diatoms began appearing everywhere, and this is great news because this means that it's starting to become a proper ecosystem and things are living and breathing within this glass box. So the dwarf hairgrass began to actually grow and send out runners, which was awesome. This is a low-tech tank and there's no CO2 in here. At around the 1.5 month mark, things were looking honestly really good. The Amazon sword had seen some tremendous growth, and I decided to cut back some of the bits that were not doing too well. This plant did experience a little bit of transplant shock, but not too much. But I went ahead and I just cut off some of the leaves that were in question. In addition to that, some of the leaves were starting to kind of burn back because of light intensity. I just went ahead and cut those back too, and ultimately this just leaves more room for growth, and the plant will grow back probably shorter but more dense. With all that being said, the tank was finally cycled and it was time to add the livestock. Here we're putting in 6 Endler's live bearers. I didn't mention this before, but this tank is effectively going to be sort of that of a temporary holding tank. I have a Endler ecosystem tank across the room, and basically the plan is that once these fish graduate from quarantine and they are deemed healthy, I'm going to be putting them in the Endler ecosystem community tank that I have set up. That's basically all there is to it. This tank is sort of that of like a tasteful temporary holding tank that I want to just keep fish in while I make sure that they are not riddled with disease. So yeah, let me know what y'all think of this tank in the comments and what you do to improve it, and I'll see you on the next one.